Cool. So where was it?
The 721. Our time.
Yep.
To the left a little bit.
Yeah, we're right over here.
Right around there. Yep, right around there.
I think like on the 3 or the 1?
The 1 minute, the 1 minute.
Oh yeah. Like right here, this little TTO.
Yeah. Because I think you got price action from, that's from earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
Yep, I'm on ES right now.
That right there. That's where I took entry. And then I just wrote it to like the day's high.
How much was that, this move? Because I know it was fast though.
That shit, let me double check. I think it was, let me see. That shit ended up going about 75-80%. Because I didn't get entry off of the opposite price. I bought green candles on that one. So I bought in.
Yeah.
Usual
like ask.
Yeah, I bought in at like so on the 1 minute. Oh shit. On the 1 minute, there is a big ass 2 candle right at that TTO. There's a big 2 right there.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one that I bought.
Nice.
You could have got a better entry. The one to the left, that.
You're probably gonna have to
2 ticks to the left. 2 ticks to the left. Like
right here, this one.
Right next to it. Left. One more. Yeah, there. So I bought it on that on the break right there.
Yeah.
Yes, could have been a better entry. So that, the shit still did all right. And then after that, I hit that shit and then I kind of fell asleep. Then I woke up. I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I didn't even know what time those numbers came out. I just knew they came out or they were coming out. I think I was reading something in the morning.
Oh, I didn't even know no numbers were coming out.
Yeah, non-farm payroll. Like last night when I was
That's the crazy part, bro. And I already had the consensus from like yesterday and the day before. So it's like,
right.
It's crazy how that shit kind of lines up.
Exactly.
Right now I'm still in my 380Ps. I loaded up when we hit this top right here, 401 area.
I got it some next week puts too. Yeah, pretty much me. I just like overnight when I was looking and I saw like all of this and then we started randomly popping up. I was like, yeah, something weird about to happen. So I think it was like sometime at night. I noticed what looked to me like a lot of consolidation. So I was just like, that's just probably going to continue into tomorrow until the numbers come out. So I kind of literally, how I played.
I'm kind of lagging. I didn't even know numbers were coming out. That's
right.
crazy.
Right.
That's not like, bro, you didn't even. I don't even watch the news anymore. I literally don't look at nothing at all except the candles. That's it.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, now I'll be like, all right, I need to at least know so I don't get caught when shit comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's so true.
Because like that day, I knew that day when we all played puts for those numbers. I just didn't, it was my mistake thinking that they came out after. I didn't know they came out before open. I would have never done that. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit again. But yeah, it was around this time, like 10, 11 o'clock. I saw this. We had this older level. It's just a pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was like an older BF. So yeah, off the open, it was like around like right here. Once I saw this big candle, I just filled wherever I filled. It was like somewhere between here. I was looking, I went and checked my broker and saw the fill. Oh
shit, you got that by the open right there too. Yep. See, I seen that, bro, but like a rule that I have for myself is just chase. It's not to buy that red shit. Like if I'm looking for it, I'm always trying to buy the opposite movement. So a better entry, even though I missed all of this, I still smacked, like you see those FEG reverses right there at the low bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
I smacked those and I got that shit at the bottom right there. If you got that at the right timing, my shit went 100% in hella quick, bro. Shit.
Yeah, bro. I was literally watching like the older scalping series, and then he was talking like literally the video right before I went to sleep was like talking about the first 2 candles, how big they are. and how sometimes there won't be a retracement. And like he was saying, like it was like the last two candles, the bottom is like the real resistance. I think he said the last up candle. So I was just like, cool. And I've seen it like 2 days in a row recently. Like we fell and there was like no retracement. So I was just like, man, I'm getting in. Even if there's a retracement, I'm gonna just buy again. I'm gonna short again if we retrace. But we just flew.
I'm noticing we get some real, we get morning activity. That's good scalp movement. And then we usually get like a midday shift.
Yeah, and you know me, that's what I like to trade.
Yeah, this shit's hella interesting.
Like I like the midday reversal because I've been trying to take it from high to low or low to high. So I'd be patient. So like, yeah, this was, around 9 o'clock.
Bro, I know dude who got the 5,000 percenter today. He got in there at the top. He said the contracts were like 5 cents.
Holy shit.
I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah, he got lucky. They got in the money.
5 cents.
Right.
That shit went crazy, yo.
Yeah. Just once I saw all this consolidation, I knew. I'm like, man, it's either up or down. So once we started doing this, I already knew. Like, yep, that shit was like a roller coaster.
For surely was.
Yeah. So yeah, let me do this little presentation.
Oh yeah.
Pay like yearn. The so icy method. You feel me? So my style is price action that is derived from two systems we know and love, theSTRAT and ICT. I combine them and I trade a few tickers, but mostly the ES, so SPY and SPX. So what really gives me my edge is a few things. Multiple time frame analysis. So my larger time frames, quarter, month, week, day, hour, how they affect the others. So like for me, even though this was happening, I'm constantly looking at the ES on a higher time frame. And I'm seeing, like somebody else told me, realistically, this was an FVG I had drew out previously, as you can see, but also it's really just like a supply zone. And it was a giant demand zone. Like towards the end, when I was live with the other trader, that's what they told me. They're like, really think about just a giant supply demand zone. So me knowing that helped me, especially seeing continuity kept shifting. And then I knew off the month we had just opened, and we have like a 1-2-2 month setup already. So RevStrat month. So shout out to Rob because he was the one who called that. I'm like, oh shit, it's over. So me knowing the month is red, the week, because we just started, so everything off the first is together. I was just kind of playing continuity and waiting. So looking for higher time frame, fair value gaps, points of controls. So same thing. I'm looking at these higher time frames, seeing if there's like a fair value gap, seeing where the point of control is. So I'll do this. It'll show me on each time frame. So I'm doing this too as I'm adjusting. So like I'll be here on an hour, and I'll start going down. Like okay, on the 30. 15, 5, and so on. And the more you do it, the more you can kind of just, without it, you'll tell, because you'll just see where the most orders lie. Like, okay, that's the point of control. And usually, it kind of acts like support and resistance, but also kind of like a slingshot. So when we break it, it only goes so far before it gets like yanked back to it. So that's a good one to keep in mind. Looking at higher time frame structure. Definitely, watching to see what we're doing. For me, I like the hourly chart. Like obviously I like the day because I can see the setup if we're just, like 2 down day, or 2-2, whatever strat combo we have. Obviously, like today we almost went outside, but this is a failed 2 up. But just on the hourly, I can see like, here's the highs. We started consolidating. We made a high, consolidated more, and we made a high. So realistically, this is just another Broadnet formation. It's just a really slight one, but it was like a slightly higher high. So I'm always looking for slightly higher highs because I'm like, those could get shorted usually, because if they fail, we're going to get knocked back to the bottom of the range. So I had an older BF here that was kind of too wide and I never adjusted, but obviously if you look here, there's tons of BFs technically that you could have like drawn. So literally, actually, that's what I did today. If you look at my actual SPY chart, as we were opening, and that's what I like to do intraday a lot, I'll just keep watching for the higher day. So I'll know after 15 to 30 minutes, you know, the second 30 forms, if we didn't make it in the first 30 and we're pushing up, I'm like, the second 30, if it's not strong, is going to be most likely a high day will appear. So I'll do that. But like I said, my day started here. So once I saw this consolidation, I instantly was short. But as we start to short, I drew this. I literally just drew this. I'm like, this is the BF. That's the higher high. And then here's an older BF that we're coming into, which we hit dead on the dot. Look, we actually failed this older BF. And we hit this low. So even, I'm not like full expert with ICT. I know he just talks about how a lot of levels coincide. So a lot of times I'll be like just older lows and shit like that. I'll draw lines out to see, like we can stop right there, which I mean, realistically, it's kind of like old school support and resistance. You know, even though we're straters, it's kind of where we're mixing them. So, yep, awesome. So, yeah. Patience and understanding when to strike. So this is like, to me, the most important part, especially if you're trading ES, you know, SPY, SPX, especially SPX. Me just knowing how to trade, like I said, even if this was, you know, this wasn't here, like let's say I had woke up and was in here, I would have probably took one trade and maybe like this could have got me. But I would have took a starter entry, and the moment I saw his range, I would have cut it and waited because I know, like, I don't want to be in this, you know, zone right here. Like, the more you move sideways, oops, the more money you're gonna lose, you know, because of Theta, obviously. So I'm always waiting because I know usually what happens, we consolidate, strong move, consolidate, strong move. It just happens over and over. So I'm like, I just got to be patient, you know, and ride out that consolidation. If I can do that, I can get the bigger move. So I'm always thinking about that. Like, and since the market is fractal, we can consolidate on, you know, a daily, hourly, you know, minute time frame. All those can see consolidation. I'll think about that. So a good one you guys could use, I don't know if I have, yep, is this one, swing support. Just if you're not really good with drawing highs and lows, once again, swing support. I don't really use it much anymore, but when I started, I used to use it a lot. But it'll show you the support and resistance. And I remember back in the day, like before even like the strat, a lot of times we would just take this. This was actually in 100K's course, like the consolidation. We would like wait for it to break and trade it. So it's crazy to think of like back then we were, you know, we were kind of so close to the truth, I guess. Consolidation, we didn't realize, we just were like, oh, cool, like I'm gonna just take the break. But like now we know because obviously there's like liquidity that's getting grabbed. So like I said, when we're ranging fair value market or inside market, when to make the aggressive move. Oh, and identifying money on the dance floor days. So if you ever see me say that, I always say it the truth. He was the one who made that term one day. We were just talking about like how those days happen. And ever since then, I've noticed them. They happen probably like 2 to 3 times a week. If you just go back and chart the SPY up, you'll see it. SPY just will consolidate a day and then make like a super aggressive week, super aggressive, like $10 move, $8 move. So I'm like, I really need to just be around, survive the consolidation days and catch one of these days. So, you know, today was the day, obviously. From highs to lows, at least from like my entry. It's like 9 points almost. So I'm always just waiting, like shit like this, I'm not trying to trade. Because it's like you're gonna wear out your personal capital and your mental capital. You're just gonna exhaust yourself. And I remember like my first year trading, like a lot of days where I would just be like really forcing trades and then just be so tired, like I don't feel like trading. And then that day I'll wake up and, you know, be like, oh, I'm gonna just do something else. And then look at my phone and something and everybody's like, oh my God, like look at SPY. So I learned you gotta be patient and kind of wait. You know, it's like the market, yeah, the market, it moves in waves. It's like, so I prefer to just wait, you know. And I was listening to like one of my favorite YouTubers, Carmen, he was talking about like some of the best traders he knows take like you said like less than 50 trades a year or 30 trades. Like, so same thing. Some of these people who are really, really experienced are waiting for these days and they're just going with crazy size, you know, like 6 figures and up and getting, you know, their 1,000%. So they're chilling. That's something I've been paying attention to, especially because I know when I get a strong move like this, if my stop, like here, your stop was so tight, and I already knew I was going to target like this level, that was 1, and you can't see all, and there was my target 2. Just right there, the risk reward was like insane compared to, you know, some of these other days, like off my entry, even if I had my stop at these highs. Target 1, target 2. It's like a, you know, 8-to-1 risk reward. Especially knowing me, I'll usually start to try and shrink my stop. Like, okay, cool, we're in it, it's aggressive move. So we're down here, I can kind of like lower my stop. And then on the way down, usually what I'll do once I get confirmation, I'll try and like, if I can get like a good move, especially if I see a TTO, that's perfect. Like I saw a TTO right here, which we really didn't get, but if let's say I see a TTO coming, right there where I'm trying to take a heavier ad, because I can take like a really heavy ad and then get like 100%, but like be super heavy, so that even these less probable trades that are going to go higher, like I kind of like safely cover them in a sense. So I don't just buy all my contracts at once. I'm always kind of averaging in or averaging out in a way. I'm like partitioning, because you never know if you're completely right, because that's what a lot of people do. They're like, oh shit, we're going to run. And they go like full port, half port or whatever. It pulls back and then it chops. Even if they get out, they're out of buying power now. So they might have got like a 30% win, and then now they got to sit there and watch, you know, unless they got a margin account over 25K. So it's always best to kind of conserve your money. Even if you don't have a limit, like you're just gonna waste your whole account. You're gonna, once again, exhaust yourself, and you're gonna mentally psych yourself out, because you're gonna be like, holy shit, I went full port and I was down like negative 30% for a little, when I'm back net break even. You're just gonna be too scared and emotional. So like avoid that and wait for money on the dance floor days. So understanding time of the day and how the market moves each session. I trade a size completely different off the open versus end of the day. So basically with this, what I'm talking about is like these, like me personally, I try to avoid the 30 unless I see a very strong setup. But on a normal day, like especially like a day where we're like trying to reverse, I'll be slowly kind of waiting, and you know, I might, you know, take a starter, or you know, like right here, like if I see like this is the lower low and I can see a potential move, this is where I'll take like a decent, like I don't know, like maybe medium sized to me, because I'm like, I want to take the safer trade, which usually if it's a slower moving, like lower ATR day, like you can kind of identify the slower reversal versus the open. And I'm doing that because I'm like, even if this trade doesn't go crazy, I want to make enough. That way, when I play end of day, I can play more aggressive, because I kind of like padded my losses, and I can go in end of day smaller size, because end of day, especially with SPX, you're getting literally like 10 times the move for a 10th of the price. So if I'm going a 10th of the price, I mean, 10 times the move, I don't need to go in full size. I can go like a 10th of my size and get the same return or more. So that's why I like the end of the day, because the risk reward gets skewed in your favor, especially when you start to like really know the right contracts to pick. So I never live in the theta burn zone. That's one thing like a lot of people, you know, don't really pay attention to. Like this would have been a burn zone. This right here for a little was a burn zone, especially like midday, you know, after that first hour, hour and a half. If we start chopping like this, a lot of people, you know, are going to take these mid entries or these entries that have low risk reward, especially if you're like on the 15, like it's going to just give you, and we're stratters, we're taking the edges. It's going to just give you really low risk reward trades. And I don't like to take those. So like if I'm in, even if I'm short, a lot of times I'll just cut it, because I'm like, it's not going to be, even if I can get right, you know, net zero, it's not going to be worth the time, the buying power, the frustration, or the theta burn, you know, or averaging down and up. I just rather cut it and wait for a stronger move. So like literally that's how I ended up cutting. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to risk it. I'm already up, you know, I was already up 1,300%. I didn't want to risk it reversing. And then, you know, I could have been right and caught this, but also I could have went down to like 500%, which sounds crazy, but that's just how it, you know, that's how it goes, you know. Some of us, you know, just we gifted. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I don't like to waste time in this theta burn zone. That's what I like to call it. So risk management kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. Like you want to be knowing when to go heavier, when to go lighter. What helps me a lot on my buys, I'm taking, starters. So right here, I didn't take a starter. This one I actually did just enter full because I knew. I mean, you can never know. You're always gambling. But this one I had like very high certainty. But regardless, if we would have started, reversing, I would have, instantly, sold my position, especially after this break, we pull back. But usually what I'll do is I try and take like starter positions. So actually, sold here, I took another buy, and then somewhere around here, I remember I ended up taking, I was live for someone else, but I was showing them how I trade. I kind of like, I didn't know what was going on because we're on such a micro time frame. So I just ended up taking like a little starter. So it was like, this is one of these. I got faked, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to short like right here. But it's good because since I took the starter, I was up so much that these contracts, they were so depreciated and worthless. They were like, 50, 100 bucks. I didn't really care. Like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just cut it. So a lot of people make the mistake and they're like, oh, I can make this much. So they're gonna go super heavy. And these are the lowest, these are low probability trades now. Oh, I got questions. How do you know you're in a chop when you're already in it? Because you're not moving anywhere, you're just ranging. The burn zone is just a chop range, like, midday. So after the first hour and a half, close to lunchtime, the market goes to low volume and we just trade sideways, unless it's a trending day. But after that first hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm always thinking like, hey, we're going to go to low volume and we're going to trade sideways a lot. So I'm trying to avoid that. But if it's a trending day, obviously, like today was mostly a trending day, there's no reason. But let's say this today did this, and after hours, so we actually did this, which happens often. I'm not sitting through this. Just not. Yep, off peak trading times, exactly. Like how Sean, he waits till, I think he waits till everybody comes back to lunch, from lunch to the exact, minute. I always see him, he's like, here it comes. He waits exactly for that. So that's, a very good way of trading, partitioning your day and approaching each day, each session, like, even though it's one day and one session, but like each time frame of the day, like it's a new session, in my opinion. Like in the day is way different than open. Risk management, same thing, taking starters, obviously, loading. So this was adapting and confluence. So I just mean like sometimes you're not going to know what's happening. So like right here, I didn't expect this flag to form and push this far up, but I'm just adapting as I see it. I'm just being more patient because like right here, I literally had no clue what was going to happen. I knew we had took out the lower day and we kept touching it. So I kind of waited. And then once I saw this level push down and retrace, I took this short right here. And that's how I got the like 600-700%. Literally ended up selling it off this one. I remember this one, I was like, I think this one's about the TTO down, but I saw how aggressive it was and I'm like, you know what, I'm done. So that was my last trade. And then that's when I was like, I could do this one, which the person who was watching me, I guess they were like not paying attention. If I said I was going to cut there, they actually bought calls. So they were able to hit like 3 big trades. But me, I was like, I'm done. But it was like pretty obvious. And I'm guessing whoever caught this bottom, which I literally marked here, but I didn't take, these people probably got like 7,000, 8,000, Yeah, I guess for you guys, for me, 12 to 1 is closed. But yeah, for you guys, I'm PST. Oh, so yeah, another thing was utilizing Discord. So right before, I think the second drop, I was a little unsure. I literally went in and I saw what y'all was talking about. I looked at my notes. I was looking to see if anybody had any charts. And I saw a lot of y'all calling out like FVGs that I didn't even see at the time. Because I was like, I had so much going on. So I remember, I forgot who it was who called out an FVG. And yeah, like I said, we retraced into it. And that was that. So don't be, definitely utilize your resources. There's a lot of good traders. You talk to them, they're going to see stuff a different way than you are. Economic events, that's just paying attention to economic events. So I'm like, look, these numbers, my bias was they're going to be bad. I don't even know if the numbers were good or bad, but I just know I knew hella traders who were like, I'm about to full port puts. I wasn't going to do that because that's risky. Like, it's not for me. But and last time I played an economic event, I got, a little messed up. But I was like, I'm just going to wait for confirmation. So the last part is understanding momentum, aggression, exhaustion, et cetera, and thinking counter to other participants. So like right here, like I said, I didn't really need any patterns or anything. And my phone is going nuts, my bad. I didn't need anything because it was just like this 5, we consolidated up here. And this was probably like a little, some type of little wedge, it looks like. Like to me now, I don't even care what type of pattern. If it's consolidation, it's consolidation. Once I saw this aggressive move, like it just looked like somebody pouring a cup of water. Like, come on, this looks like a hike and Ashley chart. Like what do you need? Like it's just 2 downs. Like what? Like when people don't trade this, I'm always like, what more could you want? And I always hear like, oh, I couldn't get in. I was scared it was in reverse. Like you just fucking buy it and then you put a stop above it and you trail your stop. Like we're traders. That's what we do. If it reverses, you cut it. Like I don't understand how people let like moves like this happen and don't. Like to me, it blows my mind. Especially knowing we're in a bear market and we're gonna have these highs that get shorted all the time. Like if y'all could just be patient and wait for BF tops and short them. Like that's all I've really been doing is waiting for BFs to hit highs and be like, yep, I'm about to short this. Like that's literally daily, weekly, hourly, whatever BF I have. Like if it hits a major high that's relevant to like recent price range, I'm ready to short it. And I just know there can be some consolidation before it. So that's really all I've been doing is just being patient. Exhaustion, like right here is kind of where we kind of exhausted, sell side, which I mean, really we didn't. This is like a bear flag. But a lot of times, like when we have an aggressive move, I knew that like towards the end of the day, it was unlikely we get even more, which we still got this puke. But I thought like, okay, we're coming back because this is kind of like the wick of the day for me. So that's it. That's really all I'll be doing. And I'll have like some relevant levels. It's nothing special. Just trading the chart. Yeah, we swept buy side liquidity. And despite that, there were still plenty of TTOs. Yeah, on the one, there was probably so many. But like, you got to think like the momentum was so strong that like on the 5, there wasn't one, which is even better. That means there's no buyer. Like buyers just can't even really do shit, in my opinion. There was like one right there. So I think it was, very straightforward type of day. Another thing too, if y'all are scared, like don't trade. I'm not playing. If y'all are scared, use the higher time frames, like in conjunction. So you see, I kept switching back. Well, y'all didn't see, but I was switching between my time frames. And then if you see on the hour, like look at these candles. It was just, 2 up, 2 down reversal per the strat, 2 down. Little, technically 2 down, but also like to ICT, he was considered like almost an inside candle. But this hour alone, like if you just knew the strat, even if you didn't get in, like you could just look like, hey, below this level, we were still in force. So that's why I have this on my screen, because at all times I ever get kind of scared or anything, I just remember like this hour is still in force, like, down, whatever strat combo it is, I know the hour is in force to the downside is how I look at it. So that's it, man. Oh, another thing though that's really good, especially like on days where SPY tends to range, is like I'll pay attention to like 15s and 30s and sometimes hours, because they'll just keep opening like a lot of times, like right here, they'll just open like parallel and you can kind of just play the opposite. Like this hour, I was telling the person like, hey, this hour is red, open, close. I don't want this hour to go green. This hour went green. Couldn't do shit, had to sell. But the moment this hour, this 30 open, I was just ready to short because I'm like, we're probably just gonna do this weird pattern that we do. And then we shorted, and then this 3, we were messing around up and down. Like this one was tough. And then once we started to sell back down towards the end is where I took another entry. So, because I was like, hey, this could be a 3-2, and we could trigger the day to my daily, but we didn't hit that target, but it's all good. Bro, hey, facts. Nah, it's funny because, I mean, like we avoid the one because we, we're like, oh, it scares people, but like at the same time, if we're strategists, we know higher time frames are going, which is kind of like the advantage we have for a lot of the other traders who only exist on micro. I just use the micro to get a tighter entry into the macro. Like I'm just thinking like I can get the tightest possible entry, tightest stop, and do a heavier, safer trade technically, and then use the macro time frames like the hours and 30s to guide me in the broad formations. So it's like you kind of combine them. And then of course, understanding like buy side liquidity and sell side. So, but usually if buy side liquidity is taken, that's the top of your BF. So it all coincides. So like as the day is going on, I'm just looking for the BF, to be honest. He's out and visiting the ghetto. Yep. Facts. Facts, y'all. But yeah, that was the presentation part. Y'all wanted to ask questions or unmute or something, raise your hand. I could answer y'all. Cool. T. Hold up real quick. All right. Well, it's hard to find y'all. My bad. Yo, there he is.
Yo, what's up, my guy? So real quick,
what's good, bro?
That was some game. Real quick question though, like how do you know which contract to pick? So you can get the most out of it, if you don't mind me asking.
So like the start of the day with SPY, a lot of time, and SPX, I'm buying like right at the money or like a few strikes out at the start of the day. And then end of the day, those ones, like the ones started the day, I was only a few strikes out, but I was looking at levels. Let me share my screen so y'all can see. I was just looking at levels, like it's obvious that we're gonna knock out this 3,900 just looking at these previous pivots, and we can hit this level. So like your safest buy is gonna be at the money, obviously. So you use your at the monies to pad your out the money gambles. So like I would buy closer to the money here because like I said, I'm trying to take safer trades to build capital to kind of play these trades, which are more almost like gambles in the day. But it's like you have that system, like a lot of people just come here and go in with size and get wrecked because these, like I said, they're lower probability trades. Volatility, and you don't know how the day is really going to end, in my opinion. Because it's like this power hour was crazy.
All right, nah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yep. Sometimes, Brown, I did that yesterday. That's actually I got clapper doing that, but I was like, it was a little less than 25. For me, just the last hour, like, yeah. Like, so Brown, what you could do, just from me looking at the chart, but the chain more, I know on these strong moving days, like the ones that are like 1,000 or so, or 15 or even 9, I know they're gonna get in the money. So I'll take those because I can get technically more for the bang, like more bang for your buck. For that cheap, you can get like almost double, and you're doubling your delta if you think about it. Like instead of 40, you're getting like a delta of 45 on 2. So it's like 90 delta. But yeah, at the money, I'm always gonna be safer because you're gonna instantly start making money. You're just gonna have less percentage, but you make more money. So you have to balance it out. I think, like I said, the main thing is just understanding contracts more than anything. Like a lot of it is contract movement. Like I said, this to me, like after a while, like I feel like anybody who trades after like a year or so, you just know that this is a layup. Like this is a layup. This is what we look for. Because think about it, you could just trade Monday, you go in, chop. Tuesday, chop. Wednesday, you have a day like this. Make 500,000% with whatever size you use. Thursday, skip it. And then Friday, same thing. Like those 2 days, you're going to technically cover your whole week. So it's pretty cool. You missed it. He was cooking. What was he cooking? True said he was cooking. Another thing too, like the other day that I did it, it was like last week. I played SPY on the way down because it was like, it wasn't as strong of a drop and I didn't want to deal with the theta because SPX, like the smallest pop and you're like negative 50 and 60. And for me, I don't look at my broker. Like that's what really helps me. I try not to look at it. Like until I'm like up crazy and I want to just like see the percentage. When we're doing the trading in the TTO, I'm just not looking. I'm just looking at the chart because that shit will psych you out. Like, because you will be this little entry on SPX, especially if you're out the money, is like negative 55%. So if you're not used to seeing red, especially if you went in and used a lot of size relative to your account, you're just going to sell. Is that a child? But yeah, any more questions, y'all? Oh shit, my bad. I didn't even see y'all. All right. Let me do Rob. I asked y'all to unmute. There you go.
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's up?
What about small ports though? Because if you add the money on SPX with small ports, I'm doing.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do it with a small port. So that's what I was saying. Like you have to play SPY, but you can do it with a small port, like 1,000, even 500. But if you're doing with a small port on SPY, like 500 is kind of hard. 1,000 you could do, but 500 you have to wait more towards the end of the day or closer because like. If you do SPY Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're already going to start the day a lot cheaper, like, like $1.50, $1.30. In an hour or so, they're going to get under $1. I think that's like your time to strike because then you get a $1 move and you're already at like a 40 delta.
Yeah, I just got out of Webull because, after
right.
3 o'clock, shit over.
Yeah. So, of course, as the day approaches, like once you get to like where your delta is even to your premium, like these contracts are like 60, 70 bucks closer in the day. Those $2 moves on SPY, you're instantly up a couple 100%. And if you see the layup, you can get a $2 move on SPY often.
So you don't never really go out the money crazy on SPX at the end of the day?
Oh, hell. So it depends. If it's like, oh, hold up, there's a question. Yeah, something like that. Oh, who needs to unmute? My bad.
So I remember Sean yesterday, he grabbed like a crazy out the money.
I had some, but like the thing with going out the money too much SPX in the day, which I had runners and I had one that just expired. I forgot what it was. I think it was like in the 3,800 range. It just was too far. So there just wasn't enough delta built up. Like, cause the delta would be like 0.0, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So I literally, I literally just let that one expire. But like, that's why you want to have the bulk of your stuff in safer, closer to the money. You don't want to be stupid far out the money on your bulk buy. But yeah, the ones that are, because like, I think the most profitable ones are the ones that are out of the money that go into the money or right before into the money, from my experience.
All right. I'm looking.
Yeah. Got 3 raised hands. So there you go, Remy.
So when you were saying like you buy the action contrary to the movement, do you wait for the opposite candle to form first, or like if you buy at the top of the day, like when it hits a high, you have a bias to the downside, do you just buy, or are you waiting for some type of signal?
Wait, the action contrary to the movement? What do you mean? I didn't say that.
Because you were saying, right, like if you're gonna buy a put, you buy it at the top of like.
Oh, that was on the
TTO.
That was on the TTO.
Okay.
I was talking about a TTO right here because obviously this is a TTO. But if you're buying here, like this was just on the 3, it was like on the 5 minute or the 3 minute, it was like a 2-2 down. I think it was a 2-2 continuation. That's all I took. I literally just drew the level. I was like, cool. And then I'm just watching literally bar for bar. Like I literally watch each bar form as I'm watching the larger bars form. And I know every 30, more than likely, if we form, they're going to be like a wick. So I'm like every 30 an hour, I'm watching really heavy if I'm in a position, because technically you can kind of take a safer trade if you think about it, like with a strat and have a later entry off of the wick, past the wick. And then when you come into the 30, knowing that we're going to pull back, just like cut it early and then wait for the new 30 to form and the wick to form and then short the wick. That's what I do some days. I'll literally be on like a micro and I know there's going to be a wick, or I'm assuming, but this one, there was no wick. So that's when it really gets good. Because if I'm here and a new 30 forms and there's no wick, I know that there's no buyers here. So this is an ad, especially if the candle is stuck in here, because I know it's very rare that a candle is going to just close in this wick like that. Like, I don't think I've really seen any candles that like just exist like this. So I know we're going to come out of that. Worst case scenario, we could go down and go 3, but of course, to go 3, we need to go down first, then up. So you can still come down and stop it as it reverses, trail your stop, obviously, like I was saying, like just be a trader. People just be so scared to be a trader. They want to be a trader, but they're scared to fucking trade. It's like crazy.
And then how are you holding all day? Like, does it go red? Like when on those days that
definitely.
Like...
It definitely, some of them do, but like I said, when you're entering up here, like after like 5-10 minutes, these never went red really again. Like, because these were closer to the money though. If I had out the money, they would be red because like until I get to a certain spot, the delta is just not beating the theta.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what be happening, right? Because I've been seeing how you go all day, but I think I get
that's
too
another
far out
reason
the
to be
money.
so calm is because like my entry is so crisp a lot of times that like I'm up here, so anything up here just doesn't really bother me because I'm like, man. Also, too, it's like I'll think logically, like if I'm a buyer, right, and I'm biased to long, after the day fails to a certain point, I give up. I'm throwing the towel. Like, yep, I'm not long. So I'm just thinking people are just giving up. Kind of like I'm like people are giving up, and then people in here who were trapped are just like, all right, I'm selling. Like anybody who was, like that one dude who was like SPY, SPX swings, he gave up here. He gave up. He went home. Starboy did. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So candle formation. So like I tell people, like when I'm doing like my mentorship and stuff like that, like buy the candlestick five because it's really help you if you just understand how candles form, even outside the strat. A lot of people don't realize like not all 212s are the same. Not all 322. I mean, 322 is kind of because they're aggressive, but 212s can be different. They're gonna be like small ones, big ones. Dojis off of highs and lows, that matters. The candle size matters. So that's what's really important. Yeah, he went home. He went to sleep. He needs some milk. But yeah. Y'all got any more questions? Nobody? Oh, Rob does. My bad. Is that everybody? I'm trying to unmute you, or I asked both of y'all to unmute. Maybe it's old.
Oh, yeah, that was an old drum. I forgot I gotta lower the hand and shit.
Okay. But yeah, man. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here if nobody got any questions.
Hey, nah, bro, I'm good. I accidentally just DM somebody. My bad. Nah, bro. Hey,
Okay.
I'm real. You should definitely like do these more for like daily recaps so we can see what you're saying.
I used to do them on Spire all the time. It's just that like time, like I just my time right now. But yeah, I need to get,
bro,
I gotta get that VA you was talking about. I'm literally just don't physically have the time anymore. Like I don't understand how to,
yeah. Hey,
once I get that, yeah, it'll be better.
Nah, this like the NBA right here. You need recap videos, bro. Yeah, facts. Drop those in like days market. I hit 500%. That'll be slick, bro. Appreciate you, dog.
No problem. Yeah, actually, that is a good idea. That's a fire idea. We got the like Stephen A. Smith, like you see this. Let me tell you about how this fell down. Like, I think that'd be pretty funny. But all right, y'all. Y'all got any more? Oh, we having a Forex call tomorrow. I'm not gonna be there because I don't know nothing about Forex, and I am trying to. Actually, I'll be there to support you, Mac. But I ain't trying to like me. I just got too much going on to learn Forex right now. But I see how powerful it is. I see y'all trading it. But y'all be up all night. I'm like, man, I'm already up all night. I just literally won't sleep. I'm not trying to, like, You can learn more about ICT from the channel. We got also info in a lot of the threads. I keep putting more. But I mean, like the basic concepts is really like, if you understand the strat, you're gonna understand ICT. It's really during consolidation, the market consolidates and they're trying to take liquidity from both sides of the market usually, or one side. So they'll push the market up or down, stop people out, reverse it. That's kind of ICT in a nutshell. They're just different patterns, but like just knowing that the market makers are attempting to trick you out of your position realistically. Drive price one way and reverse it. There's in my section, I put he's not ICT, but he's like a market maker, or he worked with him. He gives a very thorough breakdown. It's like 3 hours, but it's fire. It's like a dude just yelling at you, talking about like how you're getting finessed. It's very good. Yeah, oh boy, he does put you to sleep. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'd be, half asleep. All right, Remy, let me unmute you. Actually, sometimes when I go to sleep, I listen to him.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So for the FEGs, are ones like more stronger than the others? Like, so is it more powerful if it's on a higher time frame?
Yeah. So like, I know like Sean, I've seen him do it a lot, and that's what I've been doing lately too. I'll have like a daily and weekly one if I see one, but obviously too, just a bigger, like this one's so big, it should just be obvious. Like in my head, I'm thinking like this huge gap, if we can't retrace into it with a lot of sales, I don't really need anything to look at like volume wise or anything really, because I'm just looking at the candles now.
Okay, and then that's what you look at for the entry. So you is it going to be a stronger move if it taps it multiple times? Because sometimes I'll see it tap the FEG.
I don't know. I think today was like probably, this is, like I said, I'm not no ICT expert, but from what I've been seeing, like I think this is like strong, because like there was no retracement.
Yeah.
But I do notice, like Cam said, he noticed out of threes, like once we make a three, they tend to get respected out of them. This was an indicator, but I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I'm so used to it, like I won't have it on depending on the chart, or I'll draw them. But like, you don't really need to draw them, you kind of just see them after a while, but you just see a big gap. Like this was a huge gap.
Yeah.
This one I drew. So yeah, like I have like three to four different chart layouts just to trade the SPY SPX. So some of them have different indicators.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, like main thing, broad informations matter. That's like, in my opinion, that's what's really important. Understand that price is going to contract and then expand the range, and then it's going to, a lot of times if it expands the range further, 3-2, those are the most powerful moves. I just learned recently. Somebody was teaching me that. I'm like, damn, they're on a whole nother level of smart money. Like they have a whole different pattern that we're gonna get into later. But yeah.
Okay, bad.
All right, y'all got any more questions before I get out of here? I'm about to go get this tea. Hey, good looking. I forgot who that was. I think it was Wall Street Journal. I'm about to get 2 boba teas. Fuck you mean. No more questions? All right, y'all. I'm about to end this, man. Oh, it was Brandon. Good looking, Brandon. I appreciate it, bro. That mess was funny. All right, y'all. I'm out, man. Y'all take care. Yep. Y'all can hold on. I think I got shit. Oh no, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yep. All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all can mute or whatever, but we done.